I'm here with Kate, also known as Not Kate Sports. Kate is a fellow sports content creator. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm really excited.
So we're gonna play some different games, spice it up a little bit, a bit of an experiment. So we'll see how it goes.
hmm
But first, we'll do some quick questions to get to know us a little bit better, specifically within the content space. So I was going to ask you, what motivated you to start creating content and
hmm
when did you make your first video?
Yeah, I started making videos in December of 2024. And I actually really it started with the motivation, like why do I want to do this? And kind of the sports content came later. I found my way to it, or sports found its way to me. I'm not sure, but I really started doing it because I wanted something creative that also required a little bit of diligence, and I wanted to just show up for that commitment every day. And so that kind of drew me to posting on social media, and I'm not a good photographer, so I was like, I'm gonna have to yap online. And I wanted to find my voice, find some community, have a creative outlet. So I started posting every day, and I actually was watching Grey's Anatomy for the first time ever. So I was just talking about that every day. And then there was this,
Love it.
yeah, there was this, it was the college season, and I'm a huge women's college basketball fan. So eventually I turned my attention just kind of naturally to sports, I would say.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I didn't realize you didn't start with sports. I guess for me, it was always sports. It was
Yeah.
like meticulously planned, but you're actually the second person I've interviewed that was like, no, I used to talk about other things. Like I
Mm,
interviewed Seaway. I'm pretty sure you know who Seaway is.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, she used to make videos about like reality television shows,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I had no idea. And then she like transitioned to sports later. So I find
Yeah.
that very interesting.
Yeah. It's one of those things too where as a creator, you always hear the advice that you needed before. Like you figured it out the hard way. And they say, find stuff that you're passionate about that you can talk about every day. And sports has always been that for me.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so for me, I definitely knew it was going to be sports. I'm pretty sure that's the only thing I could ever go online and talk about.
Mm,
I mean, maybe a little bit of pop culture stuff or like
yeah.
fashion related stuff, maybe. But really, it's like for me, it just like zeroed in on sports the whole time.
hmm
And I made my first video or posted kind of like my first video May 2025.
Okay.
So like maybe like 6 months after you.
Yeah.
Um, coming up on my 1 year anniversary, which is
Yeah, I was about to
crazy.
say.
Yeah, I was just talking to my one of my friends about like when I was telling him like I wanted to start it, but I hadn't started it yet. And I was just kind of like, wow, it's kind of crazy how much I've done in a year.
Definitely. I'm shocked actually that you've only been at this for less than a year because you've accomplished a lot. And I feel like you've just created a really consistent voice and brand. And you're pretty dynamic within that brand. I'm always talking to other sports content creators because I feel like, especially women sports content creators, are really good at that. Like there's a consistent brand, but at the same time, like we're very dynamic in the things that we talk about in the intersection of sport.
Yeah, no, I definitely appreciate that.
Mm.
Appreciate you saying that. And I love your content as well. I don't even remember when we started following each other. I just feel like
Yeah.
we've always followed each other. It
I
must have
feel
been
that way
pretty
about
early.
Yeah, I know. I have no idea when I met Ava from 365 Hockey Girl. I feel like I've known Ava for years. Definitely have not, but yeah.
What are some challenges you've faced with creating content? It could be anything new, like something you've recently experienced, or maybe something like when you first started making a lot of mistakes. Anything come to mind in particular?
Yeah, there's so many. Right now, I'm really thinking about I don't even know how to articulate this really. I mean, one big thing that's easy to talk about is fear. Like for some reason, just fear and this feeling of like who cares, and it really demotivates you from making content. And again, like I started with that commitment to myself, like I'm going to do it no matter how I feel, because I don't want to be kind of stuck riding the waves of my own emotions and the actions and decisions that I choose in my life. And so that can carry me through most days. But that meme where it's like the two people on the bus and one person's looking at like a sad wall and it's like nobody cares about your content. Like that's the like I live in that meme all the time. Like it's a great thing that, you're just a person on the internet talking about about sports. That should be motivation if you can frame it right to just keep doing it. But sometimes it can hold you back. So I would say fear is a big one for me, even though it's a lighthearted thing, but there's a lot of emotional stuff that goes into like doing anything creative and doing it consistently and for people to consume and to have feedback about.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's super valid. And I feel like, yeah, I'm the same way, like constantly
Mhm.
going back and forth between like, I'm gonna post this, I don't care who sees it. And then
Yeah.
other times where I'm kind of like in my head of like, oh my God, I'm putting myself out there for anyone to see and like
Yeah.
is this video even good?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of going back and forth. But I like what you said about just like, before you started or like, in the beginning, just really making that commitment to yourself. And I
Mhm.
think that's kind of like what keeps us going and what keeps us consistent is that we made that commitment, essentially like a promise to ourselves, like we're gonna
Yeah.
keep going, even when it's like difficult or we go through like bad weeks.
Mhm.
Or stumps or whatever. Like I would even say like today I was gonna film something before we filmed,
Mhm.
and then I was like stressing myself out, and it didn't end up working out. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do it.
Me too. Let me tell you,
um,
I did the same thing. We were on the same timeline.
yeah, I was like, oh, I had to like try to figure out the outfit. And immediately, like that wasn't working out. And then I was like trying to pick out the setting, and I
Yeah.
hated the setting. And then I was like, oh, I had to get ready for this. And then I was like, I need to pivot. I need to pivot.
Yep.
And I was like, let me just focus on filming this. And then, yeah, so a
Yeah.
lot of stuff like that can come up.
Yeah.
And just kind of being able to pivot, I guess,
Yeah.
decide whether it's like you're going to push through and actually film it or just like move on and like
Right.
maybe do it later.
Could be a great idea that's worth filming, but if you're not in the right place to do it, it's really okay to put it down for a second.
Exactly. And then
Yeah.
I was like in a bad headspace. So I'm like, I'm not gonna want to film this video talking where I'm like supposed to be making jokes and sound
Yeah.
good, but I'm just like I just stressed myself out. So I was like, it's not even gonna like translate well at that point.
Yeah. I
That's
know.
kind of how I felt. So last question surrounding content creation, future goals, small or big, some things that you're looking to accomplish maybe in the near future, or we could talk about big time goals as well.
I think this year I'm trying to, kind of expand into other projects that inspire me or that I can do collaboratively. The Connecticut Sun is having its final season against my better wishes. So I'm hoping that I can play a role in kind of documenting that last season, especially just from the fan perspective, connecting with that community somehow. Being a good influence in the women's sports world is like a central goal of mine. And as I've kind of built relationships, being a good friend to like the people that are doing the same thing that I'm doing is a huge goal of mine. And I talk about different sports. I've had this conversation a lot. Like, people are like, I kind of know you for basketball, which makes total sense. But I love motorsport now. I'm really interested in women in motorsport. I think that that's a huge gap where I can hopefully contribute positively just to find ways of just continuing to be myself and be dynamic in that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think just because maybe people find you through your basketball videos primarily, like you have to stick to that.
Right.
Yeah, you can always, test out other things and see what works. Because I think like at the end of the day, like we want to make sure we're having fun.
Hmm.
Like that should be the main
Yeah.
goal. Obviously, like it does take a lot of work, and like we were just saying, like it does get stressful and it's not always fun. But like ultimately, we should be having
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
So that's yeah, that definitely should always remain the goal. So that's definitely one of my goals is like constantly checking in, making sure I'm still enjoying it.
Hmm.
And then I like what you said too about really like building communities with other sports content creators, but also just, fans of the sports that are engaging with our content and just kind of, remembering to remain like community first. Because I feel like with women's sports, obviously, we know too, like there could be a lot of unnecessary drama or negativity around women's sports. And
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of worried about the WNBA season because it's going to be obviously like the most visible yet. And I'm already
Right.
like thinking about all the things that are going to happen this season.
And how to respond to it in a way that's helpful and positive online. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, like, if you think about it, it could be actually a very, like, important role of, like,
Hmm.
shaping the narrative online and making sure there's people like us that actually, care about the athletes, care about the sport, that are, again, shaping good narratives and
Yeah.
controlling the narrative. So the first topic will be free agency. We know that's been like a crazy last 2 weeks. Probably the craziest free agency we've seen, I want to say,
Mhm.
in like sports in general,
Yes.
not even just within women's basketball or like, yeah, just across the board. What is your favorite move so far, free agency?
I mean, the 2 that stick out to me are BG to the Sun. Like, I didn't expect that, and it makes perfect
I
sense,
didn't
and
expect
it's
it either. Yeah.
yeah. The second I saw it, I completely understood. I was like, "Oh, wow, she's going back to Texas." I was like, I love as a I born and raised Texan and also a Sun fan in Connecticut, I was like, "We're locked in now." Like, I see the vision.
I didn't even think that far ahead because
Yeah.
yeah, that they're going to be going to Houston.
Yeah. I mean, it was
Um,
such a celebratory thing when BG went to Atlanta, so I think it was,
yeah,
people saw the goal as staying there, but as
yeah,
pieces have shifted this season, I think that move makes some
yeah,
sense for sure.
absolutely.
And I would say the other one that stuck out with me was obviously the Aces picking up Kennedy Carter. Like, I couldn't be more excited about that. I know a lot of people are and I was pushing the agenda online that, I wanted to see her at Unrivaled because I thought it would take something like that to really show the W what they're missing out on. So I think it's great. I think it's really great, and I think it's gonna be great. I think it's a bit of a risk from a basketball perspective, similar to the one that they took with Jewel Lloyd, who is an expensive player and can play a really special role on a team, but they went on a journey trying to figure out how to make that work last season. So, I think,
Mhm.
Carter is a super unique player in terms of her style and the way that she handles the ball and her mindset around scoring. I think that if they can make that work, that's terrifying.
Yeah, it's almost like unfair.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting move for Becky and her team
Mhm.
to make, just like knowing how stacked they are already
Yeah.
and that, like no other teams are willing to touch her. Yeah, I think that is definitely super interesting. But it was a training camp contract, right? So like
Right. I'm
that
ignoring
is
that.
kind of like, yeah, that's like the lowest level you could sign someone to at the
Yep.
moment. But as we know, she is extremely talented. So
Yeah.
like obviously she's going to be cooking at training camp. So why wouldn't she make a
Yeah.
roster?
Yeah.
But
That'll
yeah,
be
I would be
interesting.
very interested to see how she fits into like, is she going to be a starter? Is she going to come off the bench? I mean, just thinking about her coming off the bench is like terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah. It's wild. It's wild to have a player like that can average 20, 25 plus in a season come off the bench.
She was last on the Sky in 2024,
Mhm.
and she was the leading scorer, like
Yeah.
20 points easy, usually maybe even 30 points a game,
Yeah. I mean,
no
in
problem.
cooking internationally, like, I don't know what her average has been. I would imagine it's at least in the 30s, if not higher. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So my favorite move would be Angel
Mhm.
going to Atlanta. I think when that news dropped on like the very first day of free agency, that was like crazy. Not a lot of people saw that coming because we thought she was stuck in her contract.
Mm.
And I think it's just so interesting too, just her fitting into the team in Atlanta because they're mostly the same other than losing BG, who you already mentioned is going to
Mhm.
Connecticut, which will eventually become Houston.
Right.
Um, yeah, so I think it'll be really interesting to see how she fits in with that mix because they
Yeah.
have so many like talented guards and then they still have Bree Jones and then they have a really good coach too. And I just know the city's going to embrace her like open arms.
I mean, it's gonna stimulate economies. Like, it's such a great fit for everybody, I think, and I think the culture on that team I feel like we saw it last year with you see it on Unrivaled and the recruitment of Brittany Griner, like, these are players who really value, like, the team dynamic and also, like, a sense of, like, honestly, safety on their team and who's gonna have their back. I think that that's kind of an unspoken piece that people are, talking around, but I think that's a really important part of it, and you play your best when you feel supported and safe, and I don't think that Angel had that at Chicago. And I think also everybody's impressed with the Sky, like, actually leveraging that moment, and they should have built that team around her. It should have been, a franchise
Right.
player for them, but, now we're kinda looking forward and not looking in the rear view at this point, like, let's just see what else can happen with this move.
Exactly. So they brought in a lot of great players, so it'll be interesting. At least it'll be interesting to watch and like see what happens versus, after they got rid of Angel, I think I was like, is anyone going to go to a game
Yeah.
at that point?
And they have a very yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about this. They have a very interesting roster now too.
They do. And I really feel like it could go either way because
Yep.
with new teams, it's like it takes time to build the chemistry and like see how the personalities are going to mix and match.
Right.
And it's like three big personalities.
Yeah.
And sometimes that really doesn't always work out. So I'll be interested to see how they do. Are there any underrated moves? Maybe like not a lot of people are talking about, but you think that are going to be pretty spicy when it comes to the season.
I think is more of like a synergy culture feeling is Natisha Heidemann to Seattle. I feel like the vibes are kind of vibing over there, and I feel like it was an interest I mean, everything that happened with the Lynx was really interesting, and I wasn't sure, what to expect because I think Natisha was a pretty good fit off the bench with the Lynx, but I think she could play a really positive role on this team as well.
You think that she'll be a starter? Or do you think she'll come off the bench again?
That's a great
Yeah,
question.
because I agree with you. She is definitely an interesting one in Seattle of all places too, especially because we know their team is completely different, right?
Yeah.
They lost Gabby, they lost Skylar, and then of course they have like Dominique Malunga. They
Yeah.
got Awa Pham, who
Mhm.
was another really dynamic international player. So like still very young. So
Yeah.
having someone like Natisha Heidemann, yeah, she might be the starting
She
point
might be a
guard now that I
starter.
think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're another one where I'm like, I don't know how it's gonna go this season. All the teams are so different that I
Yeah.
every team can go like either way. I can't wait to see who's gonna like surprise us and be really good.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of teams that are gonna potentially be in that bucket this season, and probably this will be a season that is really determined by coaching because everybody not necessarily on an equal playing field with just from draft picks and facilities and things like that. It's not an equal playing field, but there was so much chaos that you really do have an opportunity to slide in there into, a playoff contention if you haven't really been doing well in the past few years.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really great comment to point out of like
Mhm.
it's really going to be how can the coaches, deal with their new players and create systems and environments for the players to thrive because
Yeah.
like the only team that's like we know is going to dominate for sure like the Aces.
Yeah.
Like yeah, they're definitely championship contenders, but I can't really think about any other team where it's like, oh, guaranteed. Like I want to say the Dream, but I still don't know for sure like how Angel's going to fit in the mix.
I want to say the Aces, the Dream, and the Fever, I think feel really
Oh yeah, Fever. Yeah.
strong, early preseason prediction. But
Yeah.
we also said, well, I mean, we said the same with the Fever last year. They had, injuries and faced a lot of challenges.
Last thing about free agency. So we know there's a couple of players that haven't been signed yet.
Hmm.
Some of them pretty unexpected. So we just give our quick 2 cents on, for example, we know Natasha Cloud and Tina Charles are two that come to mind. What are your thoughts on players that haven't signed yet?
I've been really trying to just listen when it comes to both of those players and their situation, and especially with people are having a lot of feelings about Natasha Cloud. My mind has gone to the effort and the heart that she put into recruiting for Phoenix and then the way that they did her last year. And it really felt like, okay, New York sees the value. But that was, I think, in part Sandy as well. Also, my other feeling was this is a big player who's potentially quite expensive. I think that the CBA has given and could potentially take away. I think a lot of teams are spending a lot of money. And so there may be players who are falling through the cracks that, blow people's mind. I think that may be a part of it with Tosh. And you hate to see it. Yeah, I've been trying to really take a back seat and listen because I know that people are really feeling strongly like, and we've seen it before with Tosh too, that, the league has told her that she's not the kind of marketability that they want. And I mean, it's just wrong on many
Yeah.
levels. And so the speculation that there's, more happening with that now it's sad to see.
Yeah, I have seen those conversations, obviously, but I guess like the point is we don't really know because
Yeah.
she hasn't really come out and said, the exact reason. I don't even know if she's allowed to until maybe after she signed. So yeah, obviously she's a big player with like a huge fan base. Like
Yeah.
people really love her. And so for
Yeah.
her not to be signed, it's very confusing for her fans. Just be like, how is she not signed yet? And yeah,
Yeah.
she obviously is like still in her prime, I would say. I mean, she's getting a little bit older, but still like very
Mhm.
much a huge contributor to any team
Yeah.
she plays at. Hopefully she gets signed soon and she gets a good deal. It'll be really interesting to see where she lands because it's like at the end of the day, like there's no way she's not getting signed, like a player like her, right?
Yeah, potentially like a, 1 year, see if it fits deal, but then, with the sentiment around kind of, our teams appreciating Tasha and what she brings from veteran presence
Mhm.
to, her values and the way that she leads with those. What are your thoughts on Tina Charles?
Yeah, I think with Tina, obviously she's older than Cloud, so a lot of the conversation around her is like retirement. And again, it's like, well, does she even want to retire? Is that something that's even circulating in her mind? But obviously, that is something that fans and people bring up when a player reaches a certain age. So obviously, that's like the big topic conversation around her is like,
Yeah.
is she going to retire? Does she want to retire? Is this why she hasn't been signed? So I know that's kind of the big thing with her, but I feel like she would want to play like again, maybe another situation where it's a 1 year deal.
Right.
I'm not saying a team has to like, do a 4 year commitment or something like that with her, but it would obviously be great to see her play at least another year,
Yeah.
and hopefully land somewhere. I would say, yeah, that it's totally different conversation than
Mhm.
Cloud.
Yeah, definitely. I really wanted Tina Charles to be a part of the last season of the Connecticut Sun. It feels
Right.
like, yeah, it feels like her team to me. So, her return to the Sun was a big deal for this community too, and like we've just lost so much. So, that one stings for sure. And yeah, I think like looking for a 1 year deal just to get what you can out of the CBA because you played such a role in growing the league yourself and were, a franchise player, a star player, and a legend, and I think one of the underrated legends of the game, especially in the landscape today. So I hope that she has a big goodbye, a big final season whenever that is.
Yeah, absolutely. She's second in leading the league in scoring only to Diana Taurasi. So I think that's definitely speaking to her being underrated for sure. Like
Mhm.
literally the second all-time leading scorer in the league ever. Obviously, like there's a big jump from her to Diana just because
Yeah.
Diana like took that record and ran with it, but
Mhm.
still to be second only to Diana is huge, and I
Yeah.
think maybe newer fans are forgetting everything that she's done for the league.
Yeah.
And well, whoever needs to sign her as well is forgetting. So now we're gonna talk about draft picks. Which team do you think won the draft and why?
It's gotta be the Mystics. It's gotta be the
Yep.
Mystics. I don't know.
For the second year in a row, I would say.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, diabolical, and I remember last season, they were quiet for all these big moves that were happening, they were quiet, and then all of a sudden, you see these transactions come through, and they pick up just every pick in the draft, really. It's just the Mystics show at that point, and they've had 2 years in a row where and what they've done with that has really worked well. Like, Kiki and Sonia were huge gets for them and have been able to stick around, and I think really are building a young championship-minded
yeah.
team for the future, and there's not a ton of teams who are doing it like they are in terms of, focusing on that long-term build.
Yeah, they're definitely being like silent assassins 2 years in the draft. Like
Mhm.
last year, like you mentioned, they got Sonia, Kiki Ariafin, and they got Georgia Amore, who
Right?
was out for injury, so she'll be
Yes.
back. And like
Oh, yeah, yeah, they're tough, they're
undersized, but
tough.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
amazing player. If people remember her college career, she was amazing. So she'll be interesting to see come back. And then this year, everyone they grab, they're definitely on my radar as like most interesting to watch and
Yeah.
winning the draft again for like the second year in a
Mhm.
row. One person that I did want to talk about was Tanaya Latson because
Yeah.
I think she went so much later than everyone
Mhm.
expected. And I remember watching it and being like, well, who's going to take her? And like, why hasn't anyone taken her? And then it kept going further and further. And I know that me and my friends, which a lot of my friends are South Carolina fans, so that could
Yeah.
have been it. But it was just surprising to see her go so late. So I feel like, she went much later than I expected. And
Mhm.
so I feel like, she's underrated. And then I'm excited to see what she's going to do in the league.
Yeah. I think, like, Dawn produces really strong professionals, and we always talk about UConn with that, where you know what you're gonna get with a UConn player just from discipline and effort and that championship mindset, and South Carolina's the same way, and, there's just some programs and coaches that we saw it with UCLA this year too. Like there's so much talent. I mean, the talent coming into the double, it's coming into the W faster than it can be sustained with infrastructure. Yeah, Tanaya Latson is a huge get. And there were a few players I think that were just like really like steals for the teams that were able to get them.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Flage when she was drafted and then the trade?
Yeah. Well, I like didn't love it, the feeling of it the night of, but at the
Yeah.
same time, my thoughts were the Valkyries are really they just have a really ambitious and creative mindset. And I would have loved like what were they calling it? Like the Flabe agenda? Like I would have loved
Oh
that.
yeah.
The Bay would have loved her, but I love that Seattle has her. And I think she's such a marketable player. She's a huge star and she's has, I think, a really like charitable mindset. Like she's going to pour into whatever community she goes to. And I think Seattle has a really similar mindset as a city, like as a sports city. So I think, everything happens for a reason really comes to mind with that move. And I think, I know that it's more than just Natalie Nakase thinking about things like that. It's more, the GM and things like that. But I thought it was a really ambitious and creative move. Like if we remove the emotion from it, I think it's, it's really exciting to see how the Bay is building their franchise. And that was just another kind of chapter in that story that was really unique and interesting.
Yeah, I think like from Flage's perspective, I mean, at first it's always like, was she slighted? Like her mom had to like quickly switch her cap,
I know.
and I think we're all like confused.
Yeah.
But I do actually think her landing in Seattle is better for her as a player, because I think she's gonna get more playing time. A lot of their guards left, and so that leaves a lot of room for her to shine in her first and second year. So I think that's great for her versus, the Valkyries have Gabby Williams. So she would technically immediately be in Gabby's shadow. Gabby, we know, is going to be the superstar there,
Yeah.
whereas Seattle doesn't have a superstar guard, right?
Yeah.
So that leaves a lot of room for her. So I think as a player, it actually works more in her favor, even though how it all went down was a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But I also want to say like she's handled it so well, and like all of her videos of her in Seattle,
I know.
she like is having a ball. She hasn't stopped smiling. It's like so adorable. I'm just like watching these videos and she's just like so freaking adorable, like smiling ear to ear, just like happy to be there. So yeah,
the great and they're giving her like they're giving each other the same energy, which is like that's all you want for these college players coming in who have just poured their lives into this moment. Like you want to see that with every team, every player. So it's cool to see it with Flage.
We're gonna get into heads up, but we're gonna do women's basketball edition. This player formerly played for the Tulsa Shock, was drafted number 3 overall after only Brittany Griner and Elena Deladon.
Okay.
She's one of the only players in league history to win most improved player, and then followed up with 4 all WNBA first team selections.
I know exactly who this is and I can't think of
Okay, next clue. Mamacita. Does that give anything away?
It should.
She
This is a
was
current
also,
player.
yeah, current player. So drafted number 3. Okay, the year she was drafted, this should help a lot. 2013. Feel like that doesn't help at all.
The most improved player to like legends. I feel like I know this person.
You do? You'd like enough to guess?
No.
You're like,
2013, Brittany Griner. That makes them like 34-ish years old.
Yeah, close-ish.
Yeah. I think they're a guard.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. They were also recently traded, which not helpful because a lot of people were traded, but
yeah,
it's a clue. They were recently traded.
Gabby's not that age younger.
Gabby, yeah.
I need more clues.
She also played for the Dallas Wings.
Yeah. Was she recently traded from the Wings?
Okay, I'm going to give one more. This one is getting a little bit easier. Okay, she also played for the Phoenix Mercury.
Is this AT?
No. That's not a bad guess, though, based on some of the things I
I was like,
said.
I don't think AT was drafted with Brittany Griner. This feels like I should know this. Not
Okay.
an Unrivaled.
She's an Unrivaled.
She's an
Mm-hmm.
Unrivaled.
Mm-hmm. She's an Unrivaled. This should definitely give it away. She is known for being a crash out queen.
Skylar?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, I don't know as much about Skylar as I thought I did. I should know this. I need to like check out a memoir immediately. Oh man, that was really
She gives the
good.
right one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she has one. Yeah, I was like, let me pick someone who's like still very relevant in the league, but a little bit older.
Yeah.
So then a lot of the things of like, who remembers who was drafted in 2013 or like a
Yeah.
Tulsa Shock is not even a team
Yeah.
anymore. I thought the Mamacita would give it away because there's not a lot of moms in the league.
I literally, the only thing that came to my brain for that, and I knew it wasn't right, was Steph Dolson. I was like, I've never heard somebody say Mama Sita for Steph Dolson. I think it was just
They
like
do
the
call
red
her
herrings
Mama
my brain
Steph.
was inventing. Yeah, that's really good. I did not know. So wait, so what was so she was most improved player, and then what happened?
So she was most improved player her second year in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, she followed it up by being all WNBA first team selections 4 years in a row.
Oh wow.
So like I think she had maybe a rough first year, like a rough rookie year, and then
Yeah.
she like completely turned it around and became like
Yeah.
all-star, solidified like legend.
Oh, that's really cool. That was a good pick. And that was a Notre
Yeah.
Dame pick too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, and the
funny.
fact that she was in the same draft class as Brittany Griner and Elena Deladon, and that's
Yeah.
the only reason she went number 3.
Yeah.
Like, there's plenty of drafts where she would have easily gone number 1 or number
Mhm.
2.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's hard
Yeah.
to think of her as a number 3.
So the next game we're gonna do is, I guess we're calling it Guess the Phrase.
Eat salt gaz matigat point. Matigat point. Matigas
See, I'm like, I can already hear you saying it.
Matigat point.
It helps to close your eyes, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Eat salt gaz meh. It's gonna go exactly how the last one. Eat salt gaz matigat point. Point. At this point. At this point. At this point. Eat salt cosmetique. It's all cosmetique at this point. It's all cosmetic at this point. No! Trauma.
You got it. You got it.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
I was like, let me pick a weird saying too that not many people like. When you're a fan, you know it,
Yeah.
but it's also so like niche.
Yeah. Shout out Orion. The
Shout
trauma.
out Ryan Rucco. Yeah, I would say like his "You Bet," and it's all kind of cosmetic at this point. I like his two.
Yeah.
He probably has a couple more, but yeah.
I'm sure.
Anytime
Yeah.
he says that, yeah.
I think that was one of the last things I heard in the Final Four game with UConn. But then I think he hit it.
Oh,
He hit
okay.
that note again with South Carolina in the championship. So just
Yeah, that
yeah.
one was really Well, I guess both of them were pretty much blowouts. Okay, so this is the last one. It's Mad Libs. So we all know what Mad Libs were growing up. Well, I don't know. Maybe if younger people don't
Right.
know about Mad Libs.
We used
But
to
it's
entertain
basically like,
ourselves with pen and paper.
yeah. These are actually really fun and I feel like super nostalgic. So I feel like this was really cute. So basically, there's like a pre-written story. We've both somehow related it to the WNBA. And we're going to ask the other person to fill in the blank with like an adjective, an object, a verb, not knowing anything about the story. And then we tell the story with the filled in words to see what we come up with.
All right, give me an adjective.
Fast.
This is going to be great. This is going to teach kids grammar. I need an object you would find in an arena or a thing.
Popcorn.
A verb ending in ing.
Ooh, okay. I'll go with frolicking.
Frolicking. Good.
Frolicking.
Give me
You
a
said
point.
good.
Give me a point guard in the league.
Ooh, okay. Chelsea Gray.
A verb.
Argue.
Give me a forward in the league.
A forward.
Just a bit.
Okay. I'll go Asia Wilson.
A verb ending in ing.
I'll just say shooting.
I feel like
Shooting.
11 again. I love it. Any player.
Any player. Dominique Malunga.
Okay. Give me an adjective.
Another adjective. Okay, I'll go tall.
Tall. Give me a
Or
player.
no, let me go enormous.
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 Give me player or a coach, just somebody in the W.
I'll go with Stephanie White.
Give me a body part.
A foot.
Give me another player.
There's a lot of players. Okay. I'll go with Skylar Diggins.
Okay. Body part.
Another body part.
Last one. Make it good.
Finger.
Okay. Last body part, not one. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 left, just for context. It's really not that long of a story though.
10 left?
Yes.
That's crazy, but
it's not that
I have
long.
10 total.
Okay. WNBA mascot.
I gotta go Ellie.
Ellie, verb ending in ing.
Stomping.
Give me a retired player.
A retired player. Okay. Tamika Catchings.
Give me a broadcaster or like a media figure in the W.
Sid Colson. Well, I guess is she in the W? Is that okay?
Yeah. She did AU.
Okay.
Give me a controversial moment or meme in the W.
Oh, there's. I'm not gonna say the first one that comes to
I
know. Controversial moment in the W. I'll go when Marina knocked down Caitlin.
Give me 2 numbers.
2 numbers, okay. 264 and 5.
5. Give me 3 more. Give me a noun.
A noun. Let's go Seattle.
Okay. Give me a plural noun.
Shoes.
And give me, last one, a team in the W.
I'll go with Toronto Tempo.
Okay, great.
God, I'm like so curious. I'm not expecting that many.
Okay. Should I read my story?
Yes.
Okay. So this is when the lights went out in the arena.
Okay. I was wondering which one you were gonna pick. Okay.
Yeah. It was the fast 4th quarter at a sold-out arena when suddenly the lights and popcorn went out. The crowd started frolicking and Chelsea Gray grabbed the ball and yelled, "Everybody argue." Out of nowhere, Asia Wilson started shooting in the dark while Dom Malonga launched an enormous 3-pointer that may or may not have hit Steph White in the foot before bouncing off Skylar Diggins' finger. Meanwhile, Ellie, this is good. Meanwhile, Ellie was stomping with Tamika Catchings on the sidelines. Sid Colson said over the airwaves, "This is just like that time Marina knocked Caitlin Clark down." When the lights finally came back on, the scoreboard said 264-5. Somehow, Diana Taurasi was holding a Seattle Storm and arguing with the ref about shoes. No one knows what really happened, but it was officially ruled a Toronto Tempo win.
That is exactly how I remember these going. Just so purely so silly and so like innocent.
Yeah.
I love that.
That was fun.
Okay, that was fun. And insane. Okay. So I have less. I feel like the story might be the same length, but I only have I think like 11.
Okay.
Okay. So the first one I need is an adjective.
Spicy.
Okay, I like that. And then I need a hobby. Any hobby.
Breakdancing.
That's perfect. I need like a workout equipment, like any kind of specific workout equipment.
Peloton.
And then I need a WNBA player. Any WNBA, well, current WNBA player.
Olivia Miles.
Perfect. Okay, verb ending in ing.
Playing.
I need a number.
9.
Okay. And then a plural noun. Or like I guess it has to be an object, sorry. Plural object noun.
Jerseys?
Okay. That's good. And then I need a type of beverage.
Orange juice.
Okay. And then I need a verb in the past tense. So ending in ed.
Vomited.
Vomited. Okay. And then I need another object. Sometimes it's hard to like think of it because
Yeah.
you're like, oh, do I go with something basic or try to be a little funny?
Right. An acorn.
I love it. Okay, and then the last one, like a TikTok trend, like a TikTok saying, like something that got popular on TikTok that we would say it's like kind of trendy.
6, 7.
Okay, perfect. Here's a six,
Oh,
seven.
I hate to
Okay.
perpetuate that. This is the first one that came to my mind.
Yeah, it's like there's that one. There's a whole bunch. And
Yeah.
there's like new ones all the time, but that one's good.
Mm.
Okay. All right. Are you ready? And we're gonna read the story now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I walked into the facility for the first day of training camp feeling absolutely spicy. Over over the off season, I had taken up breakdancing to stay in shape, so
Excellent.
I thought I was ready. But the second I saw the strength coach holding up a Peloton, my confidence vanished.
Yeah,
I
that's a
looked over, holding it up too. I looked over and saw Olivia Miles already in the middle of the floor, slaying like her life depended on it.
Nope. This is just, like,
But just like
historically accurate now.
before I could even stretch, we were ordered to run 9 laps carrying a pile of jerseys. That was like, okay, that was pretty realistic. By the first water break, I was so tired I accidentally drank a gallon of orange juice instead of water. I vomited right onto the floor and landed face first on a stray acorn. My teammate looked up at me, laughed, and yelled, 6'7".
This is just, like, gonna happen. This is happening somewhere in the world right now.
uh,
Yeah, that's fun. It's so funny too because I remember, like, I used to get greedy and I'd be like, "Let's keep doing them," and they just get, like, not funny.
you were just like addicted to them.
Mhm.
Were you trying to like get it realistic or were you trying because I feel like when you're a kid, the whole point is that you say something so silly that everyone is just like giggling that it makes no sense.
Mhm. Yeah, I feel like when you try to do one or the other, it always flops, so I was trying really hard not to make assumptions and just say a thing.
Right. It's like you really want to just like not overthink it and just be like, first thing that comes to my mind. Well, that was all the games that we had. So thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was really fun.